So right now, as you know, every week we give y'all a preview, and it's going to be the NL East preview this week. Okay. So in hour two, because we probably gonna be hour two of this one, because we had an hour already.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but we had fun with it.
Oh no, that was
That's what I'm
worth
saying.
it.
That's what I'm saying. So you should absolutely watch James Woods, and that's about it. So I have to agree with my bro Migo Rob right here. Okay, if you guys have not peeped out James Woods, he plays for Washington. This guy is big bat, big power
Oh, he's
coming
amazing.
in Washington. Look, I enjoy James Woods. I think that he gets better this year. Okay. But that's also me being faithful with every baseball player. I believe, you get better.
You
And
know why I'm smiling?
why?
Cause you doing because we are both aged black men. You doing the aged black man thing. Or the really black thing of adding an S where there isn't an S.
Well, yeah, it was James Wood. It's James Wood.
James
Yeah,
Wood.
yeah.
It is
James
James
Wood. It
Wood.
is James Wood.
Wood. It is Kroger's and it's James Wood.
Yeah.
But there's also a James Woods
Yeah.
for my
James
people that
Wood.
watch
My bad.
Family
My
Guy
bad,
and
my
watch
guy.
old movies, yeah.
But it's
But
James Wood.
but no, it is James Wood. Because look, I've said James Woods a plenty of times.
Yes.
And so that's why I smiled because I knew it. I was like, yeah. I was like, I do this all the time with
Yes.
James
We
Wood.
do add we do
This
add
is
this. We do add
James
the Wood.
Wood. But
So
no, my brother is absolutely 100% correct. James Wood is an absolute phenom in the making. This is a guy that's going to be a superstar as soon as this team actually gets good. Kind of like I don't know if he's going to be what Juan Soto was, like that kind of guy
I
that's
think
like
I'm
a
gonna be
perennial
honest with you.
MVP.
I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. I think if we give him in another 2 to 3 years, he probably is. The guy hit 31 home runs last year. He was 256. He went a little bit down, but you
Yeah.
gotta look at it like this. You to me, you have to incorporate inflation of games. He went from 79 games last year to 79 games his first year to 157 games
Mm-hmm.
the second year. Okay, he basically doubled the amount of games he was there. But with inflation comes numbers that go. He went from 9 home runs, 31 home runs. He went from
Yeah.
41 RBIs to 94 RBIs. He went from he still only had the same amount of stolen bases. Now he did strike out a lot more.
That's what I was gonna basically say. Like he strikes out a ton,
He
but that's
did.
gonna come in time.
Yes, that's one of those things that I think comes in time. But for the team that he's on, he's really good. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
predict he goes up 4 in home runs from 31 to 35 this year. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and if he gets really hot, we may see him get close to 40. Okay, because it's not many guys you gonna find.
Yeah.
He's 6'6". He's a lefty, and we all know majority of your pitchers are right-handers. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
great matchup for him. Okay,
Yep.
if we talking just matchup wise, he can run. Okay, he can field, and like I said, the power at the plate is undeniable. Okay, so with that being said, the first thing I'm gonna say before I pass it over to Rob is Washington, get your shit together. Okay,
Oh my God! Please, please
because
do.
you have if he manages to get better over time and he slides away, I promise you, I promise you, whenever he leaves, it's gonna be worse than Mackenzie Gore leaving.
Actually, you
I
think so?
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you why. We only see a picture once every 5 days. We gonna see him every day. And
Yeah.
if I ain't producing no goddamn runs, and it's because he didn't left, I want somebody head on the pike.
But
Okay.
that was I was that I guess because I think of like that Mackenzie Gore trade. That was a trade that like Washington could not refuse. Like
No,
they
they
got
couldn't
a
refuse.
lot.
They
They
couldn't
got a
refuse.
lot back for that, which it might have been an overpay a little bit, but no, they got a ton back for Mackenzie Gore. No, this team has next to nothing, and I don't say next to nothing because now you got C.J. Abrams, you got Dylan Cruz, who was the number one prospect in baseball at one point, but just hasn't really grasped on. You got Luis Garcia. Um, you still got Josiah Gray, who could be an ace of this line of this rotation. He had a lot of good stuff. They added Miles Michaelis, who thank God for y'all, because I didn't want him to come back to the Cardinals. I thank you for your service of picking up that busted motherfucker. But like, but yeah, like they got Kate Cavalli. They got some stuff, but there's nothing really to see outside of James Wood. If Dylan Cruz can basically be what he was projected to be, who was a higher prospect than what James Wood was when they were prospects, I think you got something and they could be something. But baseball perspectives got them losing 95 games, and that's probably about right.
Yeah.
This team really ain't got the pitching. They were really bad last year with pitching, and they did almost they got worse because they basically traded away the only good guy that they had,
Yes.
the only good pitcher that they had last year. Their bullpen was absolutely fucking basura, and they did nothing to change that. But I think that what they're, which is what it is, but like they don't actually. I lied. Andre Granillo, I really liked him with the Cardinals. Y'all got him. We traded y'all for him or traded them to y'all. But the thing about it is like this team is in a division that I think is really good, and I think that they don't really have much to compete really. But in a few years they might if they really make
Maybe.
some. If if their fucking ownership actually starts paying motherfuckers, like they can really do something for real. Like they could be a great team. They just gotta try and really improve that pitching staff.
But that's the problem, though, dog. We're hoping and we're hoping and wishing that they get better. Okay, which is a huge
Yeah.
problem. Which is a huge problem. And I'm upset that you have a whenever you have A1 talent or a guy who I believe that could be A1 talent, and he's somewhere where there's nothing, and he shines above everybody else. I feel like you at some point you have to dig in and say, I'm going to try to make this better so I can at least hold on to him and try to make a run for my city. Maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
just me, like the person who would own the team, like the owner and me saying, hey, if this was me, I need to figure out how to make this work. Okay. And
Yeah.
granted, you got back a lot from Mackenzie Gore, which I will be honest, at least you ain't let him go to a team where he could have been the lefty ace with another group of aces. You didn't let him go to a team like
I
that.
mean, he went to the Rangers, who basically could win that West, but he could be a big piece in winning that West. So
Yes, they could, but it's could versus
could, yes, it's a bunch of could. It's,
look.
it's a bunch of could
It's
with him.
could versus. Let's say if he would have ended up a Dodger, we would have been like, "Come on now, man." We would
Oh
have been
no,
like
no,
Boosie.
pitchforks and torches.
That's all I'm saying. So it could have been a lot worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are the Marlins ready to reel in the NL East? Which, ironically enough, they actually beating Washington right now in preseason 3-0. Um, this Miami team, I don't know, Rob. Where do they have them projected to be right now?
So record wise, baseball perspectives has them as losing 87 games, winning 74. I don't like this projection. I think this team is a very much a team on the rise. Um, I don't even think that's really a departure of what they were last year. I'm pulling up the standings right now because I just thought
Mm,
about it. But like they were an up and coming team, but they weren't necessarily a horrible team. They were 79 and 83. Like them having them finish much worse this year than they actually finished last year, I think is bullshit. Because the thing about it is, and we're gonna get to why I think it's bullshit, and it's kind of who you see back here. But like Sandy Alcantara basically coming back healthy, Uri Perez coming healthy. They went and got Chris Paddock. They went and got Peter Fairbanks to be their closer. Picked
yeah,
up John King, who was another former Cardinal who I really like. Got Anthony Bender, like Max Meyer, who is also a former top prospect. This pitching staff can actually be pretty good. I think I like what they've got going on. They have Xavier Edwards,
yep,
who hit for the cycle in his rookie year.
yep,
Kyle Stowers,
yep.
who was our lone All Star last year, who
Otto
basically has
Lopez.
a Otto Lopez, Owen Kasi, who they basically just got from the Cubs. Like this is a team that has a lot of pieces. Augustine Ramirez,
Yep,
who
was
basically I think
catcher.
can be a really good piece. Jacob Marcy, who they're really big on, who I think that he could be Javier Sanoja, sure, but Connor Norby. Like this is a team that doesn't have a star yet, but Kyle Stowers could be that. Like he can very much be that, and I think that this team has a lot of stuff that
So,
is like,
so
you
you're
know, you can
picking
really
Kyle
bank on.
Stowers. I'm saying it's gonna be Xavier Edwards.
Really?
I think that he's gonna be the next one, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Anytime you have a guy that comes out to me and he has 159 hits his first year. He bats
Mm-hmm.
283 his first year. Okay, now granted, Kyle Stowers is clearly gonna be the power guy. He had
Yep.
25 home runs. Otto Lopez was your guy who's driving in runs. He had 77 last year. Whenever I look at Xavier Lopez, I think that position wise he can be a star. He's good in the field. He's very good with his bat. I think that he can go be that high in. I'm going to be on base. I'm going to bat. Cause let's be real. You came in your first year in the league. You played 139 games, and you weren't far off of batting 300. Let's be real.
That's pretty good.
For every person who's out there who's saying .17 is far off of 300. Well, guess what? He made the other
For a rookie
283
though.
first
Yeah.
before he gets there. It's really he's not a power. He's not exactly a power. He's not a power guy though. 3 home runs, but
It's
we
fine.
know one thing: power can be developed with time.
Yep.
If you can put bat on ball and
Mm-hmm.
get it into play and get on base is the first step. Because if you develop that first and then you add some power, you don't need him to be a 50 home run guy. He can go be a Bobby with 30, 35 home runs. But if you batting 300 and you driving in
Yeah.
runs,
I
and
need you to get on base.
yeah,
I need you to move some motherfuckers over.
yeah, that's what I need from you. Because Kyle Stowers is gonna be my power guy, and Otto Lopez is gonna help drive in runs. I think that they can be better than what they're saying. They have a lot of upside, bro. They do.
Yeah.
They have a lot of upside. I don't know where they kind of get because they said 95 games is what they gonna lose.
No. They said they losing 87 games.
87.
Like
I don't know though. I don't know about no
that's
87.
there's a guess of reason why I can see why, and that's because of the that. Let's keep on going.
So hold on,
I'm gonna say
hold on. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I know that you can hold me to this one. Okay, you can hold me
yeah.
to this one. So they're saying that they're gonna lose. You said 80.
They
You said
said 80. They're gonna go 74 and 80, 87,
74.
88 really.
Okay, so all right, they beat out another team. Well, the people behind you, they beat them out in wins.
Mm.
I'll say this: if that same team don't have their shit together, Miami's gonna win 80. They're gonna win 80.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna win 80. They were at 79. They're gonna win 80, 81. They might be right at 500.
Yeah.
They might be right at 500.
And yeah, and no, and I think it's the reason why it's because of the 3 teams that we have left in here. But 2 of the teams I think are actually gonna be worth the damn. It's one that
Oh yeah, it's only 2. It's one that's very questionable. And you know what? I'm glad his ass ain't here today because now I'm gonna talk
I
shit.
was wanting to. Yeah, that's why we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
talk
talk
about
shit
it.
to you. Now, Phillies having the best pitching staff in baseball. Do you think that they have the best pitching staff in baseball?
Dude, I think they really gonna have like I think they are gonna be like kind of how with Rangers. I think they led the league in ERA last year.
Yeah.
I think this Phillies team is gonna have the best rotation when you got Christopher Sanchez,
Yep.
Aaron Nola, Jesus Luzardo, Zach Wheeler, and what they're looking at as far as Andrew Painter being like that 5th starter in there. I think this team is set to basically really be the best staff. You got Johan Duran basically being the closer. Orion Carey King I think is really good. They got Jose Alvarado. They brought in Brad Keller. Like they
You didn't
have
mention my
a
boy
nice.
Walker.
I didn't Taiwan Walker, who's
You know
basically
he's from
coming out of the
Shreveport,
pen.
right?
I did not.
Yes, he is. He's from Shreveport.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So another one from the boot, but yeah, brought in Bryce Wilson. Like I think this is really gonna be like the best pitcher staff in baseball. Like I really do.
And saying that,
And it pains me to say that shit.
and then, but look, and we can say that, and they lost one of their better starters. You lost a better
With
starter.
Ranger
And,
Suarez.
yeah, you lost Suarez, and still you could potentially have the best pitching staff in baseball.
Yeah,
That's
and they're gonna
crazy.
need it because that lineup that they got here. I mean, granted, you brought in Adolis Garcia, you brought back Justin. Brought back Kyle Schwarber, looking to basically bring up Justin Crawford as you just jettisoned Nick Castellanos. Um, Still got Trey Turner for however long you got him. Bryce Harper for however long you got him. Um, but yeah, and then JT Real Muto, who I thought people liked, but not as much. People do not like
No,
people do
they
not
don't.
like
No.
JT Real. It's kind of wild. But yeah,
So,
it's the thing of like they're gonna have to basically be the best pitching staff because granted they got them going 85 and 76 or 86 and 77
mhm.
roughly. Um, and so yeah, it's they gonna probably need them to basically be great.
So
Uh,
my thing is, what it's gonna be for them, Rob, is it's gonna be a health thing. I think it's gonna be a
yes,
health thing because
yes,
last
all around.
year, you had 141 from Trey, you had 162 from Kyle, which is amazing because he played all 162 games and hit 56 shore bombs. Castellanos played
Working great.
147. TJ played 134. Harper played 132. Bryson Stott played 147. Alec played 120. It's going to come down to them being healthy again. The problem is, do you think this can happen again and them
Mm,
have the same type of numbers? Because Trey batted 300 for you. Okay.
right.
And you know he's probably one of the faster people in baseball. He's on base. He's stealing bases. He's doing his thing. So you don't believe that we're gonna have lightning strike twice and we're gonna have them repeat kind of from last year?
Yeah, yeah, nah. I don't know. Like well, you can't really guess injuries, but I think that I think they could be staying healthy. I think they could be fine.
Yeah. Well, to me, you got a lot of guys in that beginning prime 30s, and I think that they can stay healthy, barring a big injury. If they can do that and be productive again, they might be right there, and I think that they can be right there again, Rob. Like,
Mm.
and if they can be productive and have the best pitching staff, we might be spelling, World Series. We might, we might.
Dang. It might be a little too much dip on your chip there, but
But
yeah,
look,
yeah, no,
I'm
I
just
got you.
saying, mathematically, if they were to do what they did, numbers wise, and then have the best pitching staff, it might be there. It might be there.
Yeah, yeah.
Now granted, the Dodgers checkbook is just so big. It's
I mean, it's the other teams too. Like I think
yeah.
the NL I think is especially with the two teams that we're going to one of the teams we're going to talk about. I think they have a lot of competition that I
Yeah,
don't think that they're better than.
because
They're gonna have to get some hot
I was
streaks.
gonna dare you to because
Double dog dare me, motherfucker.
one of these teams I better say go ahead and say 'cause,
All right. So the next thing we're gonna say, Braves don't suck. That last year they went 76. I think it's what 76 and 86.
yeah,
But I will say, and I'm gonna give them this out. Their whole opening day starting rotation was hurt. The whole
this is
thing,
true.
most of the season. And so I'll give them that. Plus, they had some injuries here and there.
Hmm.
They went in. They went and got Hassan Kim, Drake Baldwin, rookie of the year, reigning defending undisputed rookie of the year for the NL. They have stuff. They went and got Jonah Heim. They have stuff,
Okay, see, and that word that
but
you keep saying, stuff. See, stuff concerns me. Okay?
it was better than the shit that I was gonna say.
Look, it concerns me because outside of maybe Chris Sale and AJ Smith, Spencer too. Spencer. I forgot
Yeah, I'm
Spencer
about to
was
say
there. Spencer was there. Who do you see
both
saying
Spencers.
this is gonna hold this rotation together?
That's the thing. Like they got them. They got baseball perspectives. Got them winning 90 games. I do not think this
Okay.
team is winning 90 games. There is no fucking way this team is winning 90 games. None. I put you got me on wax. You got this. You got Will Smith right here looking over my shoulder. These motherfuckers Braves are not winning 90 games. Put that in the fucking bank. You can roll this shit back once we hit October. Those motherfuckers gonna be sitting at 77 and 80 and 87. No, 80, 77, no, 75 and 87. There we go. It'll be just as where the fuck they was, even though they have basic stuff. Because there's teams that basically can whoop their ass and that's gonna whoop their ass that people are overlooking. And I think this Braves team kiss my ass also. Really, honestly, I've been trying to hide it. It's they can kiss my ass. I don't like the Braves. I do not like the Braves at all.
Which he doesn't.
I do not.
So tell me this: if possible, if their bats could come alive, you don't think that the bats could try to carry them?
Like sustain it. Basically,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a Ronald Acuna Jr. staying healthy all year, Michael Harris II staying healthy all year, Austin Jurickson Profar, Ozzy Albies, who always is fucking hurt.
Yeah,
Matt Olson, right? Austin Riley. Man, I don't believe in this team. I don't believe in this team in the extent because they got them winning the fucking East. This team is not winning the East. The next team we talk about is going to win the East.
And you know what? We can just jump straight to them. The Mets.
Let's do
the
that.
Mets can win the East. The Mets can legit win these.
So my thing is, the question that I want to pose is, can the Mets beat the Mets? And the thing about it is because I think that they're going to have to beat themselves. Like I think they're the class of the National League East. Brought in Freddie Peralta, bringing up Nolan McLean, who's one of the top prospects. Jonathan, another top prospect. Brought in Marcus Semien. Brought in Bo Bichette. Brought in Luis Robert. Yeah. Like they brought in a lot of talent, or Jorge Polanco to replace Pete Alonso. Like this team, I think is going to win the East and possibly win the National League. I've been saying that for a while, even though the Dodgers are still there. They still got their firepower. They just bought the closer that the Mets had in Edwin Diaz, which the Mets then brought in who they bringing Devin Williams from
the Lou.
So that's 3 from the Lou's today. Like we're a record.
This is true.
Because you know why 314 baby. And so but now like and St. Louis people we're just that goddamn good. But no I think this is the team. If Francisco Lindor come back healthy, this team I think is the class of the National League. I think this is between the Dodgers and the Mets. We're gonna see who I pick basically when we pick the playoffs. But like I honestly think the Mets, if not the number 1 team, is the second best team in all.
I also think that the young guy, young third baseman Brent Batty. I think Batty has to have a good season too.
I mean, he got to have something. He ain't even got like a good season. He got to just be decent. Something.
He played 130 last year. He only hit 18 home runs, which is above where he was because he only played 50 games a year before. But I think he has to have some sort of positive season. I'm not saying he got to go hit 40, but he need to be 20, 25. He need to be higher than 254 average. He has to be on his shit to help support everything else. Lindor has to be here. They have issues, like you said, within themselves that keep
Mets kicked in an extra year or something like that. Yeah. It was something to where I think the money was similar, but the Mets had like an extra year.
Yeah, which is fine, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: look, it's 765 million reasons why I shouldn't be a Yankee. Okay, and I'm fine with that. That's all that matters in the end. That's all that matters in the end. I'm cool with it. I'm very cool with it.